Tonight we agreed to extend the restrictions that we announced on Sunday night, but to do so in a manner that was consistent with the types of measures that we announced on Sunday night. What I mean by that is there was an initial list of activities that largely went to the issues of social gatherings, particularly in enclosed spaces, that was being done to restrict the amount of contact between people outside activities such as going to work and things of that nature. And so tonight we worked to complete that list of those types of activities that we believe are appropriate at this time to slow the spread of the virus, to ensure that we are covering all the necessary activities and business functions inside premises that should be considered at this time. And so from midnight tomorrow night, all of these following activities, and they include some that I've already announced from earlier, will no longer be taking place. Now, cafes, I've already said, but for takeaway, that will continue, so no change to the issues around cafes. Food courts and shopping centres will not be allowed to continue, but getting takeaway from those food outlets in those shopping centres, that can continue because takeaway is able to be done. In the retail space, auction houses, gatherings together in auction rooms, that can no longer continue. Real estate auctions and open house inspections, in particular open house inspections, that cannot continue. Outdoor and indoor markets, excluding food markets like Flemington and things like that, because that is essential to ensuring the food supply right across the country. They will be addressed specifically by states and territories in each of their jurisdictions. States and territories have very different arrangements in terms of the types of markets they have, and they'll be making those decisions specific to their states and territories. But the point and the principle is very clear. Large gatherings brought together by particular organised events are things that we are seeking to avoid, and that's the principle the states and territories will be seeking to follow. In terms of personal services, where there is a lot of contact, obviously, between those providing that service in a premise and the patrons, the following now won't be able to continue. Beauty therapy, tanning, waxing, nail salons and tattoo parlours, and same for spa and massage parlours. That excludes health-related services in those areas, physiotherapists, things of that nature, health-related and allied health services. Hairdressers and barbershops will continue to be able to provide those services, but it is very important that they strictly manage the social distancing and limitations of the number of people in their premise. So that's 4 square metres per person, and on top of that, to restrict the amount of time a patron is in the premise to no more than 30 minutes, and preferably less. Cinemas, nightclubs, casinos, gaming or gambling venues, all of these were included in the announcement on Sunday, as were adult entertainment venues. Concert venues, theatres, arenas, auditoriums, stadiums, they are all included, what we said on Sunday evening. Amusement parks and arcades are now included. Play centres, and both indoor and outdoor, are also now included. Community and recreation centres, health clubs, fitness centres, yoga, barre, I hope I've pronounced that correct, I might need some help with that. I'm not quite sure what that is, to be honest, but B-A-R-R-E for those who are looking for the specific definition, and spin facilities, saunas, bathhouses, wellness centres. Boot camps and personal training is limited to a maximum of 10 people, and the social distancing arrangements must be strictly enforced. Social sporting-based activities, swimming pools. Now, I'll come back to the social and sporting-based activities in a second to explain what we mean by that. That's large groups of people gathering together to play soccer in a community oval and things of that nature. You can see what we're trying to do. We're trying to limit the gathering of people in large numbers that can relate to the transmitting of the virus through those social interactions which are not considered necessary. Galleries, museums, national institutions, historic sites, libraries, community centres, youth centres, local government non-essential facilities, libraries and swimming pools, community facilities such as community halls, clubs, RSLs, PCYCs. I mean, many of those are already included in what I announced on Sunday night, and of course places of worship. On places of worship and other similar type venues, there has been a very difficult decision we've had to make tonight in relation to weddings and in relation to funerals. Now, weddings can continue to be conducted where it is just the couple, the celebrant and the witnesses. That's no more than 5 people. And the 4 square metre rule has to be observed within the venue in which that's taken place. But large gatherings for weddings, sadly, won't be possible under these new arrangements. And sadly also, and I know this will be very difficult, funerals, to no more than 10 persons observing the rules around the 4 square metre rule and the social distancing practices. Particularly on these types of activities, this is not an easy decision. Where we have already found, and Dr Murphy can speak to this, some of the events that have been some of the major transmitting events, it has been exactly these types of events, particularly weddings. And that is why, regretfully, we have to be able to put these arrangements in place.